What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR. Sitting across from me this week and every week, the Sofa King himself, it's Jeremy King.
Yes, hello there. And sitting next to me, like always, is Brian Paul.
And every week on Why We Love PlayStation VR, we dip into the PSVR archive, we pull out a game at random, we play the crap out of it, and then we talk about it. We let you know if it's been given a love by developers, any updates, any DLC, any patches, and we let you know, the little game cats, if it's worth your time. That being said, Jeremy, what game did we decide to play this week?
Paper Dolls VR.
Paper Dolls VR by Beijing Witchy Culture Media, published by Winking Entertainment. Came out October 30th, 2018 for $16.99.
Wow.
Interesting price.
That is an interesting price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That being said, Jeremy, what kind of game is Paper Dolls?
Oy. It's a horror game.
It is.
Like a walking sim horror puzzle game, I guess.
Yeah, it definitely borders. It's definitely a horror game.
Yeah, it's definitely a horror game.
It is. I wouldn't call it a walking sim because I feel like walking sims are like you just kind of like plow
Just
through the
walk,
game. The game
shit.
delivers a story to you, and this is like I feel like puzzle at every turn.
There's a lot of puzzles.
Yeah. Let's make sure we keep one thing very clear from the get-go. There is a different game on the PlayStation Network.
Yeah.
On the PlayStation Store called Paper Dolls Original. That is the 2D version of this game. If you buy one, you do not get the other. This is not Resident Evil 7, kids. They're the same price. They have virtually the same name. Make sure you buy the VR one. Paper Dolls Original.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
2D version.
Yep.
Just Paper Dolls is the VR one.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, my first question for you is the same question I asked you last week.
Okay.
Is this game scarier than the game we played last week? Immortal Legacy, by the way.
I want to say overall, yes.
Yeah.
Different, this was like the type of scary that scares me, makes me jump, creepy. Pitch black, flashlight, shit at you, where Immortal Legacy was something shuffling and running at you and you shot at it.
At least you had a gun.
Yeah.
Right? You had a way to take down the enemies.
Various weapons.
It was nice.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I felt a little bit more secure.
Yeah. This game gives you no weapons.
No.
And puts you into let's set it up.
Okay.
So basically the deal is the game sets you up with basically mostly just voiceovers.
Barely any.
Barely any good ones.
Yeah. What's the matter, Daddy? Yeah. That girl. Oh.
Daddy, did you remember to take your pills?
What kid who's that age and speaks like that with a speech impediment?
No one.
Asks if you've taken your pills.
No one has ever said that phrase like that other than the 40-year-old woman or the 40-year-old man voicing that little girl's voice in the introduction.
Right. Yeah.
So
that was a scary spot.
So here's what we're saying. Look, thankfully, there's not a lot of voiceovers.
No,
right?
not at all.
There's not even a lot of story.
There is not.
Right. So the game like gives you basically it's like the developer. His name is on the screen while you're listening to voiceovers.
Yeah.
The name of the game is on the screen.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you just see a lot of smoke in an implied car crash.
Yes.
And then you wake up in this house all by yourself.
Like implied like your daughter's with you in the car, right?
Yeah.
And then
it does seem like that.
Yeah.
Daddy, did you take your pills?
Yeah, done.
No, I
clearly didn't. You didn't. Yeah.
So what happens? You start off and you're in this. You wake up in this room all by yourself.
Yep. Pitch black.
What happens? What's the first thing that happens?
Well, I mean, there's a body laying there on the ground, a decapitated one. There's no head. And then you got to just basically figure shit out. I mean, they give you a quick tutorial on the movement. I don't know if we want to get into that yet.
I think so. I think the first thing you need to figure out in this game is how to play it.
Yeah.
So, move controls or DualShock 4. The DualShock 4 got patched in later after we all complained about the move controls.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the move controllers.
I did the move. I did not do DualShock, which is how I always do these games.
Oh, you do?
I do, you know me, I'm lazy with the DualShock.
I love being lazy.
Yeah.
Like kicking back on my couch with the DS4.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But man, for this one, get up and use the move controllers.
Oh, yeah. And so I did.
Yeah.
And it's definitely awkward.
It's a mess.
I had to adjust my height several times because right in the menu, there's an option to adjust your height.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
But does it do anything?
Yeah, you jump. It'll definitely increase your height or lower.
I was doing it today, and because I started off and I was too short.
Yeah.
And then I did like the trick, like I kind of crouched down, I held the options button, and then I stood back up, and it made me taller because the menu didn't do it for me. It didn't seem to be making any difference.
Yeah, it did for me, but again, I'm short, so I
mean, it doesn't.
I
make
felt
a
higher, but yeah, it definitely worked up or down, but there was just it was a little untidy. when it comes to controls, camera.
So
a little bit
just trying to walk around with the move controls is ridiculous.
It is.
So I've never seen a control scheme like this ever before.
No.
To walk forward.
Yep.
You have to take your move controllers and alternate the triggers, left, right, right. And that is basically your feet stepping.
And you know what's funny? Could almost get that, and you could almost get into the rhythm of it.
Yeah.
Almost. But it just seems like no matter how fast you went, you were capped at a certain speed.
Oh, absolutely.
And it wasn't very fast.
No.
And the churning movements, the head movements, the way you would, I don't know. To look backwards, you have to like hold these two and
hold
kind
the
of
triggers.
No,
you just hold the triggers and then you let them go and it does it.
Okay.
The tutorial makes it look like you have to turn your head.
So every time I did, and I'm like, wait, it did this time. It did like the whole fucking time.
And that's for the 180 turn. Now, to make matters even worse, there's no smooth turning. It's only click turning.
Yeah. And
to turn, you have to double click the trigger.
Yeah, one or the other to.
Exactly. Yeah. How many times were you running away from an evil spirit and accidentally hit one twice and suddenly you're facing the wall?
Yes. Accidentally turn around and be facing the other way.
Even worse.
That happened all the time, and I thought that was glitched. I did not know that I was just like holding them both and letting go.
Yeah.
And I found that, so my right hand, I don't know why, I can't move it as quick as my left. I'm a lefty, so yeah, I can move it quicker.
Okay.
But the trigger, call it an issue. I don't know. But like I had a lot of difficulty, doing the little bit of churns with my right hand, the double tapping on the trigger. So like I'd be like, it was an awkward thing. I would oftentimes just rotate around the opposite way. I was like Zoolander.
Wow, that's rough.
No left, he couldn't do left or right turns.
Either.
I forget.
Damn.
Either way. Yeah.
And so you would think that patching in the DualShock 4 would fix all of this.
Yeah.
And it didn't really.
No.
Because so you can kind of tell that developers were like, F you guys. Like, what, you don't like our control scheme? Fuck you.
Yeah, here it is.
Because here's a DualShock 4, and they call it the beginner option.
Yeah.
For beginners, here's your DualShock 4 option. I was like, no, for people who have a low threshold for obnoxious concepts. This is your option.
Who haven't like strengthened their index finger recently, because that's a workout. The whole game.
Oh, hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
And so the DualShock 4 allows you to just push forward on the analog stick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is nice.
I should have played it on the DualShock.
Oh, no. Every time I've tried it, I actually go, after about 20 minutes, I say, you know what, the moves are actually better than this.
Wow.
Because you can move without alternating triggers.
Okay.
But then
the hand movements.
But then the hand movements, it's not like you just look at something and it suddenly uses head track and you hit X to open a drawer.
Okay.
You're now using the DualShock 4 as a single hand to interact with the world.
Oh, dear Lord.
And so that light bar is not equipped for such things.
Okay.
So it's really a mess no matter how you look at it. I will say, I've probably spent, over the course of my first review and this review, upwards of, 10 to 12 hours with paper dolls.
Wow.
I'm actually really accustomed to the control scheme of the moves now.
I think it took them less time to make the game.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's highly possible. Small team, by the way. Looking through the credits at the end of the game, there's like 10 people that made this game maximum.
Speaking of ending, I don't want to give it away, but they didn't. I mean,
there wasn't much of an ending.
No, just there you go.
It's the journey, not the destination.
Right? Yes.
It's all about, hey, I thought. Okay, let's back up.
Okay.
After you get the controls down,
yes,
the next thing that really stands out are the graphics.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because nothing stands out.
No.
It's dark as hell.
Wicked dark. Yes, it's very dark.
Right? How much did this affect your enjoyment of the game, and how much did it kind of work in the game's favor or against it?
So I have the OG PlayStation 4.
Yeah. I'm going to say there's probably not a difference.
I don't think there would
There's no way. It's blurry as hell.
Wicked blurry.
Yeah.
So I had more time trying to readjust my headset to clear up what isn't blurry. It's just the game.
Okay.
And a lot of times reading the words on things was a challenge. Finding the objects where I was with a placement ahead of me. Was I through that door or was it this door? Is there a lock on that one or not? It was so challenging that you had to go right up to it to see it because it was very muddy.
Yeah. It's very muddy.
Yep. The flashlight isn't very illuminating either.
No. So it's a very dark house.
Yes.
and it's and I'm still not sure, even after all this time with the game, if it really works in the game's favor or not.
Yeah.
Because it's terrifying to be walking and just kind of seeing the semblance of a floor and walls and doors and stuff around you. Mm-hmm. But then you can, if you find a match, there are candles around. Yeah. And when you light one of those candles, it really does illuminate that area of the room.
And then it's funny because then it's like the few things around it illuminates look decent. Like they don't look that bad.
There's kind of a good looking game hiding in here.
Yeah. That's what's funny about it.
Yeah. And so I think that this was somehow a stylistic choice by them to say, hey, it's really scary in VR.
Like the grain effect on Silent Hill 2 was it?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it was like that. 2. Except I don't think it was. I don't know if it was on purpose. Yeah. It definitely adds to the terror of it when you first start to play. You're like, uh-oh, I don't want to be in this house. And I also kind of want to address the house.
Let's do it.
Unlike Intruders, Hide and Seek, that house made sense. That seemed like it could be lived in, and it functioned. You could understand the layout of it. This, it really was an awkward. It didn't make sense. The house was built for the game, I think, rather than
100%.
Here's a house. Let's add the elements to the game in it. It definitely didn't make sense.
And it's a small house.
Very.
Right. So this game's, I don't know, it took me about 10 hours or so. Right. And I remember like the first couple hours, I'm kind of trekking through the same rooms back and forth, the same hallways back and forth, because a lot of what you're doing is trial and error.
Yes.
And so so there's a lot of backtracking, a lot of process of elimination, puzzle solving.
Yes. What key does that lock fit into?
Absolutely. And there's even a diagram at the beginning that shows you all the locks and all the keys.
Yeah.
And you go, but that doesn't help you while you're playing the game. You find a key and go, you know what? Rather than trying to look at that document, in lining up the key, I'm just gonna go try it in all the doors.
Locks, because then you got to find which lock that is on for what door. Yeah,
pointless.
And then again with the muddied graphics, it's hard to tell which key, which lock, anyways.
Right? The lock designs aren't different enough.
No.
To be like, oh, that one was over there.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, so I think there's probably only maybe 25, 30 rooms in the entire house, if that.
Yeah.
Like that might be giving it a lot of credit.
I don't know if there's that many.
Yeah.
Counting the second floor, you're just talking,
Yeah, I mean like 20, I'd say roughly 20 rooms.
Maybe, yeah.
Right? And so, as you mentioned with the flashlight, like this is kind of your saving grace.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's really dark without it.
Yeah.
And it's only slightly better with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Slightly.
And I think that I'm kind of happy that it doesn't do more.
Yeah.
I was scared playing this game.
No shit.
I was anytime I opened the door, which I really liked, by the way, like you just kind of push it out of the way.
That's the stuff they did right.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't want to keep knocking all the bad stuff.
No, please do. There's a lot of bad stuff.
There is.
Yeah.
But the interactions with the match, I really thought that was neat. Where you can take the match and strike it on something and light something.
Very cool.
And the incense to save.
Yeah.
That was all really neat. All of
good.
that.
It felt it made the world feel tangible along with those doors that you push open with your hands.
Yep. The piece of paper, picking them up and whatnot.
Yeah.
Great. The way you read them, not so great. How it just kind of expanded in front of you, but it's like you had to move your eyes to look at it because you move your head and the thing moves.
Right, or if you pull it away, it suddenly disappears.
It jerks this way, that way, and it just, it gets wacky. Yep. So it was like a constant battle. It's almost like this game got in the way of itself.
Constantly.
Because it definitely seems like there's a terrifying, decent game in here that is just ruined by mechanics of how you interact with things or how you move around. It just made it so that when you went and found that lock, to go to find which, or the key, what lock it went to, it was like, ugh, here we go. Which one is it? You know? And it just made it so it wasn't like, oh my God, I found this. And like in Resident Evil, when you found something, you're like, yes, now I know I can get and put this emblem here and I'm done.
Right.
It wasn't like that.
No, it was totally the opposite. In fact, like it was so, most of the puzzles were so, difficult. Like sometimes you didn't even know you were looking at a puzzle.
Yeah.
And so part of me goes, like at the beginning, there's an old Victrola record player.
Yes.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
And it's like real basic puzzle solving. You open a cupboard and you find a record.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, the record must go on the Victrola. And then and then you put your hand in something else and you find a crank and you're like, oh, this is the crank to do the.
Yeah.
basic puzzle solving stuff.
Yeah.
But then later on, it's like you walk up to a door, and there's like just like some bells on it.
Yeah.
You're like, okay. You try to reach out and touch the bells, and they just disappear. You're like, oh, I guess those aren't. Those aren't
walk
anything.
away.
Yeah. And then like it's almost like every puzzle after the record player, you're just like, is this a puzzle? And so I think they were almost so well done because they were so well implemented into the house.
Yeah.
That I kind of love the puzzles in this game. They really made me think about things in a totally different way.
Yeah.
Than like almost any other puzzle game I've ever played. As much as I love things like Witching Tower or Red Matter.
Yeah.
Those were like, okay, here's a room and here's some puzzles. Go to it.
Yeah.
And like I'll take all the time you want in the world. There's no worry about like some samurai ghost hunting you down and killing you.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. How did you feel? Did you think the puzzles were like?
I that's the one thing I thought was great. I really liked the challenge of the puzzles.
Nice.
They definitely were great. It's just they were hidden in that muddy graphic.
Yeah.
It made it a challenge to know there was a puzzle piece. Like if you didn't know there was a crack in that one door or that one cabinet to look in to see the crank, or even know you could reach in and grab the crank,
right?
You'd be in that one room forever looking around.
Literally forever.
Forever.
Yeah. The game does not help you out very much.
No.
There are scraps of paper everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah.
But like I don't think they're very well translated.
No, they're not.
And these are kind of your hints.
Yeah.
And again, this is I was playing today, and it sort of reminded me of our Immortal Legacy conversation when you were like, when you didn't even know about the compass.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who even found the compass didn't even know how to like open it with a flick of the hand. There's a book where all the scraps of paper you pick up go into.
Yep.
And so you grab that out of your inventory, and then like you're just holding it, and you're like, you're pushing every button. You're accidentally putting it back in your inventory. You're like, what am I? But you have to do the flick of the wrist to turn the pages.
Yeah, I think. Could you take your other one and you could do this too, right?
I mean, if you were able to, then awesome. But I couldn't figure out how to turn the pages.
Yeah.
And I had already played it for 6 hours before today.
Yeah.
So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
The inventory system is very Weeping Doll style. If you guys played that.
Yeah, it is.
So it's just you hit a button and all these squares pop up in front of you, and you just kind of reach things out and take them.
Yeah.
And put them back.
The only problem with that is if your inventory is 100% filled, and you pick up a puzzle-solving piece, that's in your hand. Like I couldn't swap it. I could swap it out, but the other thing would be in my hand. So whatever, I filled my inventory with those little dolls with the pins in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was gonna say, why is your inventory full?
Right.
I'm like, because you didn't just put those right on the hanger where they belong.
Yeah. I just put them all in my inventory.
I did the same thing on my first playthrough. I did it on a live stream. Everyone's like, "What are you doing?" There's like dolls hanging right there. It's like I didn't notice. It was too blurry.
Because I thought they were neat. I picked them up. They're dangling. I'm like, that's neat. You know. And you could burn
all
objects.
amputated and stuff.
Yeah, I tried burning one.
I tried to burn everything.
Everything. Yeah. You could burn so much. I was hoping to get an achievement.
It was cool that a lot of things you didn't think you'd be able to pick up and throw.
Yeah.
Like those giant vases.
Yeah.
Just pick it up and throw it. Explodes into a bunch of pieces.
Yeah. And the bugs, little roaches. Not that you could pick them up and throw them, but they were there.
They were there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely ran into a few issues, and they kind of err on the technical side of things, I guess.
Yeah.
So there's 2 difficulty levels.
Rude. There was one, and then coward.
Yeah.
Level.
Yeah, it was like normal and coward.
Coward. It's like, whoa, dude, come on, man.
Right. So I actually played today on coward.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I just need to capture a bunch of gameplay footage for the show.
Yeah.
And apparently, I played for hours and hours and hours today. Never once saw the samurai ghost that hunts you down and kills you. During the entire game, there's like this ghost who's a real pain in the ass.
He's got the thingy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he basically stalks you for the whole game.
Yeah.
There are some safe rooms like Resident Evil that are very nice to find, and like those candles that you light.
Yeah,
kind
that's
of create
really
like
neat.
a sanctuary.
Yep.
And so. But yeah, other than those areas, this samurai ghost seems like he can pop up anywhere.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to solve a puzzle, and you're like hearing him, and you're like, oh no, I got to get moving.
And it's scary.
The tension is really high in this.
I don't know what it is with Asian like terror type of like horror, but it's scary.
Very scary.
Their lore and their like creepy fantasy, ghosts and legends. Far more terrifying than I think ours.
Yeah. Their mythology is insane. But the problem is, there's only one save file, and if you've been playing on Coward and you're like, you know what, I want to see how difficult the normal setting is.
Yeah.
It's going to overwrite your initial save.
Yeah.
If you decide you're like, you know what, I want to try the DualShock 4 because my index fingers are hurting.
Yeah.
It will overwrite your save to try to play a game.
Jeez.
Like, even if you want to start up your old game with the new control scheme, it doesn't let you. It says you have to save over your old file. I'm like, what's that about?
Is that still a factor? Remember they used to say every cigarette you smoke takes 7 minutes off of your life?
Yeah, the 7 worst minutes, according to Dennis Leary. They're the ones at the end.
No shit, that's right.
I wonder have those minutes.
Right, I keep them. If playing this game literally removes 7 minutes of like your DualShock or controller life for every playthrough, you know, because those buttons, you just destroy them.
Oh yeah.
And I kept like hitting wrong buttons, opening inventory. It was just a nightmare. Whereas in Immortal Legacy, at first it seemed like a nightmare, and after a while it made sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm almost disappointed in the fact that I wish this game was tighter. Because it looks like a beautiful backyard with long grass and just a lot of shit in it. And you know, if it just got tidied up, it'd be pretty decent.
Probably.
You know? And this game is similar to that. It seems like if it just got tidied up with the controls, maybe a little brightness increase, or even an option to increase the brightness.
Yeah.
You know, and change that word from coward to beginner and then normal.
It sounds like you're rating the game.
Right?
Let's rate it, man. Let's do it. We're already there.
All right.
What's our rating scale?
Well, 1, absolutely. Rush out. Buy this thing this moment. 2.
This week.
Yeah, this week. 2, if it's on sale, pick it up. You won't be disappointed. And 3, fucking out to the pasture. No way. And Brian, what do you think?
All right, so I think first of all, to launch a 10+ hour game for $17.
Yeah.
You know, especially a PlayStation VR game. You're like, oh, where's my big long epic, puzzle solving adventure, whatever's. I'm like, well, here's one.
Yeah.
Here's one, and it's very reasonably priced.
That is, yeah.
Right? Does it have problems? Yeah. Man, the control scheme takes forever to get used to.
Yeah.
And even when you get used to it, it's still irritating.
Yeah.
You know, it'll still cause problems when you don't want it to.
Big time.
There should be a PS4 Pro patch. I mean, here's the thing. The house is so small. There's no reason that this couldn't look sharper on a regular PS4, never mind the PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
Right? And those are really the major issues.
Yeah.
Because I sort of liked everything else about it.
I know. That's
right?
what's awkward about it. It's like
I don't even mind how dark it is.
Yeah.
I don't mind that it's dark. I just mind that it's blurry and dark.
Yeah.
Right? If it was sharp and dark, it'd be no problem.
Yeah.
So it's got 2 huge issues, but man, the puzzles are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The price point is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's scary as hell.
Yeah.
It's the perfect game for Halloween if you can deal with all the downsides.
Yeah.
This is exactly a 2 in my book. Mm-hmm. This is a great game with some really awful issues.
It does. Yeah.
So $17 if you want to be scared and have some cool puzzle solving adventures, yeah, man, this is for somebody like me, who's willing to deal with the problems, just to be scared. Yeah, it's a solid 2 if you're like me.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you?
Now, these guys, like reading on their site, the Litchi.
Yeah.
Now, they had involvement with a lot of like MMORPGs.
Interesting.
Ion, do you ever play that one?
I did not, but I've heard of it.
And then Tabula Rasa, that was way back. That was Richard Garriott, right? Richard Garriott, wasn't he the Ultimate Dude?
Yeah, he was the Ultimate.
So he released
Ultimate Dude,
yeah.
Yeah,
he
released Lord British.
Yes, that's right. He went up to the space. Remember?
I don't remember that.
He went into the shuttle and went out in space.
That's the weirdest Des Nugget I've ever heard.
Yeah. So that Tabula Rasa was decent, but they had like a lot of. I feel like because of that, they should have been tighter. There should have been some improvements with this. I don't know if this was their first VR dive or something.
Who knows?
So, I really would initially say 3 because I'm like, no way, but I was scared shitless.
Yeah.
That was worth every penny.
Nice.
The few times I screamed like a baby. The puzzles were definitely challenging. They weren't laid out for you. They weren't like cookie crumbs, or breadcrumbs leading you to it. It was like, there they are, figure it out. Right. So I'm more towards a 2 than I am a 3. I'm on the verge of a 3, but I think that with all of the issues underneath it all, there's a terrifying puzzle game,
Right.
And I want to say, for the gameplay you get, for the hours you get, definitely a 2.
I mean, if they were charging like $30 for this,
no way.
We need to have a conversation.
Anything more than $16.99.
Yeah.
They priced it at the max purchase level.
It's like they knew. They're like we got to push this game out, but we also know it has problems. So at least it's cheap.
Yeah, yeah.
Right on. Excellent. Well, I think that pretty much does it then for another episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR. Another scary game under our belts, Jeremy.
Yeah, I know.
Looking forward to next week.
Yeah. What is next week's?
Well, maybe you should guess in the comments. But more importantly, let us know what you thought of Paper Dolls in the comments. I think there's going to be a lot of hate for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to get over to find the enjoyable stuff. Yeah. So make sure you let us know what you thought of it. Also, let us know what other games you want us to play. We got 2 more scary games for the rest of the month.
Yeah.
And then we're going to move on to normal stuff. Normal. I mean, actually, the stuff I got lined up is anything but normal.
I'm excited to get out of this terrifying terror October month.
Oh, you're only halfway there, buddy.
I know, it's so scary.
Whoa.
It's awful.
We're halfway there.
John Bon Jovi.
For another episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR, I'm Brian Paul.
And I'm Jeremy King.
And we'll see you next week.
Next week.